Hello and welcome to this video on mastering basic array methods in JavaScript. Arrays are one of the most essential data structures in programming. They can hold mixed data types, so numbers, strings, objects, and even other arrays. This flexibility makes them very powerful, but it also makes it crucial to know how to use them properly. By the end of this video, you'll have the confidence to use these methods in your own projects, and stick around to the end because we got a project for you to practice every single one of these at home. Let's get started. There is no better place to start with a nice easy method. So what we're going to do here is make a string from an array. So we just add 3 numbers and then toString at the end, like so. No parameters needed. And then when we log this to the console, there we go, we've got a lovely string here. And just to show you what it'd look like if it was just an array logged to the console. There we go. So as you can see, there's no brackets around it. We successfully got a string by using this. Okay, next we are going to start with our join method. A good example of this will be if we want to join names together with the AND symbol. Use it a similar way that we did with toString, and the parameter here will be what you'd like to join it with. You can use a comma, I mean you can use whatever you want. You could even use another letter. We are going to join it with an AND symbol here, and we're going to log this to the console. There we go, so we got Sam and Bob and Josh, rather than it just being Sam, Bob, Josh, which we could see up here as well. Leave a space each end. One thing to know about this, it won't work if you try and use join on a string. It will not work unless it's on an array. I don't want to make this video too complicated, but another quick way that you can use join is, for instance, if you want to add these into HTML later, by accessing a URL element, you can change the inner HTML, use join, and add 2 items to your list. Again, I don't want to get too in depth on this. I'm just showing you that there are many different uses for join. Alright, next we are going to use the push method. So push adds a number to the back of an array. So if we do array.push and let's say add 3 and then console log this. So we got 1, 2, 3 here, it's added it to the end. Another fun way that we can use push is let the loop define the number. So if you're trying to push numbers 0 to 4, you can use a loop like this and just push I to your array. Alright, so we're on to our pop method. Another one beginning with P. This is actually how I remember push and pop. Push pushes a number to the back, and then pop pops the last number from the back of the array. So we'll just show you here. If we do our array pop, and then we will log this to the console. So we can see here it's taken the last number out of the array. On the complete opposite side of pop, we can use shift. So with shift, we'll shift everything back an index, as it's going to take the first item out of the array. So we'll just show you what that looks like in the console. So it's taken away 1. So now the number 2 is the 0 index rather than the number 1 being the 0 index here. So similar to what we did with the push method, we're going to add something back to the front of our array. We are going to unshift number 1. So with shift, we took off number 1 because we're taking away the first one. We're now going to unshift it and put everything back to where it was. So we got here 1, 2, 3, 4. So we started with 2, 3, 4. We unshifted 1, and now it's back at the start where it belongs. Okay, so next we are going to use our first keyword. So one of the ways that we can use length with arrays is change the size of an array. So what this will do here is shorten it to the length of 3. So it will just cut off the end here. I'll just show you in the terminal. There we go, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Again, if we changed it to 4, we'd have up to the 4th number, the 4th item in the array. This isn't done by index, so whereas this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, it does it by the actual number of items. So it will just change the array to the length of 3. On to our next keyword. This one's quite interesting. So let's just say we had an assortment of sensitive numbers. A very easy to guess pin number here. So we are going to use delete, and let's say we want to get rid of index 1. This is very interesting. So what it does, it removes it, but it's like a placeholder for the index. That index still exists. It's just that there's nothing there anymore. The 2222 has completely gone. Now, what we can do here though is actually add it back into the array. Here we go. So here we've got rid of it, and then underneath we've picked the same index and we've added it back in. So very interesting. Whereas other methods will just completely get rid of it, and then the new array will just be 0 and then 3333 then 4444. Delete keeps the index free. It just gets rid of the information. Next we are going to do something a little bit different. Whereas all the ones previously have changed the array, what we are going to do is create a completely new array with the concat method. So we are going to use it on our first array, and then the parameter will be the second array. And then let's see what happens when we log this to the console. So as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we have a look at how our first array looks, as you can see, it hasn't changed it at all. just made a completely new array and not mutated the other two arrays in any way. They still are exactly how they were. We've just added them together into a new array. So similar to the first one, this one is going to return a new array for us. So if we do, so we're going to say what index we want to cut from. So we're going to cut from index 1, which will be 2, the number 2. And then the next parameter is how many we want to cut out. So let's say 3, so that'll be 1, 2, 3 here. And then if we console log both our arrays, so array 1 is here, so we got 1, 5, 6. So again, index 1 is here, and we've cut off 3, so we've taken away 2, 3, 4. As you can see, our second array is 2, 3, 4, all the numbers that we cut out. We could do something a little bit different here and actually add items to our array. So if we do splice and then from index 1 again, we want to replace 0. We don't want anything to be replaced, and then we want to add the number 2, and then if we console log this array, we will get 1, 2, 3. So what we're doing here is saying start on index 1, which will be here. We want to replace nothing, so it's going to put it in this gap, and what we want there is the number 2. And then our result is 1, 2, 3. So there's a few different ways you can use splice. It's a very versatile method. So next we're on to our slice method. I'm going to do an array here from 1 to 8. And then I'm going to make a second array to use our slice method. So the way that slice works, the first parameter is where we want the slice to start from, and the second parameter is where we want it to end. So we need a second array to save the output to, and we'll console log both of these so we can take a look. So as you can see, it hasn't changed the first array. All it's done is cut out 3 and 4, so the second index, and it's going to end before the 4th index, so we've taken out 3 and 4, and then it saved this to the R2 variable. Also, if you just want to do a full copy, if you don't put any parameter, it will just make a copy of the entire array you're using slice on. Next is the sort method. Now, there's quite a few different things about the sort method. If you don't use a parameter, by default it will lexicographically sort the words. So that means in dictionary order. So letter by letter. It is case sensitive. So for instance, at the moment it will change it to Alice, Bob, Charlie. However, if I just change a bunch of the letters here, there we go. So depending on if they're capital or not really depends on how it sorts the array. It's because capitals have a lower Unicode value, so just be careful when you use this. If there's capitals, it might give you a different outcome to what you're expecting. And this is also how you do it for numbers. So we've got an array here, and our aim is to have it in numeric order, and then we're using sort, and then we're using AB as a parameter, and then using arrow function, and then saying A minus B. And when we log it to the console, we have 2, 5, 10. So what's going on here? So if we do 10 minus 2, that gives us 8. It will then tell us that 10 is bigger than 2. So then 2 is going to go over here. Excuse the mess with the commas. And then next, oh, we've got rid of 2. And then next we're going to go 5, 10 minus 5. And again, it's going to give us a positive. So it's going to say, okay, you are smaller than 10. And then it's left with nothing else to compare it to. It may also do 2 minus 5. It will give us a minus, so then it will tell us that 2 is smaller than 5, and it'll keep it where it is. It really depends how many times it does this mathematic equation, but at the end we will end up with this order 2, 5, 10. If you want it to be in opposite order, we can just go B minus A and as you can see here, it's going to go 10, 5, 2 because it's doing a complete opposite math equation to what we did. And this is the sort method. Our next one is very conveniently named for us. This one will reverse our array for us. Let's take a look in the console. 4, 3, 2, 1, perfectly reversed, nice and easy. Right, for the include method, it's going to show us if our array includes what it is we asked for, and then it's going to return to the console true or false. So if for the second one here we say what letter isn't in here? Z. We do not have a Z, so we should be getting a true and a false from this. So let's take a look at here. There we go. So true, it does include an R. We've actually got several. And does it include a Z? False. Cool. So this is how the include method works. Right. Next for indexOf array. So what we want to do here is in the parameters we're just entering in what we are trying to find. So I'm trying to find where the number 4 is, and in the console it will log the index of the number 4. Third index, so we've got 0, 1, 2, 3. That is perfect. And let's say we want to find number 6. Oh wait, there is no number 6. We know that because it's returned -1. There is no number 6 in there. It's also pretty clever. We're putting in 4 again, but we are entering it as a string, not a number, and inside our array they are numbers. So the only way we are going to get the correct answer is if we have the right data type and a number that is inside of our array. Perfect. Alright, so how can we practice this at home? There's 13 methods and 2 keywords. That's a lot. In this project, we're going to do a to-do list, and we're going to append, take things away, and we're going to use each of our different built-in methods and our 2 keywords. So let's get started. So I'm going to initialize a list of tasks. We're going to create an array here. We're going to use 3 individual strings, which are going to be our tasks. And if we log this to the console, we should see initial tasks, pay bills, buy groceries, and clean room. Okay, for our first method, we're going to use push to add a new task to the end. And then if we log this to the console, we'll do added a new task. And then we're going to use task length -1. So that's going to access the last item, the last index of our array. and that's going to show us feed the cat in the console. Next, we're going to use pop. So we got the two P's, push adds to the end, and pop takes away from the end. So we're going to do let remove task, and then we're going to use pop, and then we'll do two console logs. So one to show what we removed, and we're also going to show the task away after we have removed that item. And then as you can see, we got remove the last task, we've got feed the cat, and then on our task away, that is missing from the end. Alright, so now we've got a high priority task. We need to do it first. So we're going to add it to the beginning of our list. So to do this, we're going to use unshift, and we're going to do finish homework because that's our urgent high priority task. And then we'll have a look at the array. And there it is. Okay, so as we got the two P's, we got the two S's now. We got unshift to add, and we got shift to take away. We've done our high priority task, so we're going to use shift. Again, we're going to do two console logs, one for our removed high priority task, and we're also going to do one to show the task array after we've removed it. We've done our homework, it's on the removed list, and if we look at our array now, it's not on there. Let's keep going. Right, we want to see how this looks when they're all joined together. As you can see, when we've been doing console log, they've all been bunched together. We're going to do a comma, and we're going to do a space as well to make it look nicer. So let's have a look at that in the console. There we are. Look at that gap. Looks so much better now. Okay. Now we want to sort it alphabetically. Going to do tasks sort. So the default is alphabetical. Then log it to the console. Okay, let's reverse it. Feeling like the things at the end need to be done first, so let's just reverse it and have a look in the console. There we are, all reversed. Right, we want to remove or replace a specific task. So if we do let index equal tasks index of clean room, so what's going to happen is if clean room exists, we're going to find it and return the index number for that. Then we want to replace it if it's in there. And then our splice parameters, we're using index, and then we're going to say 1. And then we want to put what we want to replace it with. So we're going to put organized clothes. And then we'll have a look at that in the console. And you can see in the console we've got modified tasks, pay bills, organized clothes, and buy groceries. Alright, next we want to create a smaller list of urgent tasks, so we're going to use slice. So we'll do let urgent tasks equal tasks slice, and then for our two parameters we'll do 0 and then 2, and then we'll log it to the console. So we've got urgent tasks, pay bills, and organized clothes. So we've selected our start point and not including our endpoint, the second index, and we've taken the first two items out. Next, we want to check if a task exists, so we'll use include. We're saying task include, so if it doesn't include pay bills, console log you forgot to pay your bills. You didn't add it to the list, you're going to forget to do it. So next we're going to use our first keyword. We're going to use delete, and we're going to delete the first item out of our array, which I believe was clean room. So we should just be left with organized clothes and buy groceries. So let's have a look in the console. Wicked. On to our next one. Next we're going to modify the length. So we're going to be using this in a different way to how we've been using it so far. We're going to do task.length equals 1. So we're going to change the length to 1 item. This doesn't work the same way as index. If you're saying 1, it will be 1 item. It isn't going to include the 0 and 1 index. It's not done by that. So we'll do console log trim tasks, and we are going to see pay bills, and that's all we got. Next, we are going to just do a console log just to see our tasks as a string. So we'll do console log tasks as string. Let's have a look. There we are. Alright, let's continue. Next we're going to do merge tasks with another list, because we've got such a small list now. Let's make it bigger. Let more tasks, and then we'll do called add and write report, so more homework. Then we'll do task equals task.concat, so this is going to add them together, and we'll put more tasks in the parameter. And then in the console we've got pay bills from our original array, and then called add and write report from our more tasks array, all together. And that's it. That's the end of our project. So we've covered 13 different methods, 2 keywords, and we've shown a way at the end how to use all of these together in one to-do list project. I feel like this is a good starter project, but you can keep messing around with these arrays. You could do it with numbers, you could do it with different data types, you can mix it up, you can experiment with it. You can just, if you have a list of these, you can just practice the different way to use these and just experiment, and you can just keep it going. If we really wanted to, we could just keep adding more things to this, taking it away, putting things in different places, changing the length, deleting things, putting it back in that index. We can just keep messing around with it. So use these methods. They save you a lot of time. Have a play around with them. You're going to be using these loads in the future, I guarantee it. So give them a go. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.